Hey, vinyl community, Jeff back again. Time for another one of my in my vinyl collection videos. Again, just looking at some of the bands that I have and what I've got by them in vinyl, on vinyl at this time. Now, on the last one I did April Wine because of the passing of Miles Goodwin. So this one is similar to that in that it is also dealing with someone who recently passed away, a little before Miles, but so what I'm talking about is Mylon LeFevre. He passed away September 3rd. So, and he has a pretty extensive music career. Some people probably just know him from his later stuff, which was heavily in the Christian pop market. But he has an extensive career if you're not familiar with it. If you go on YouTube, you can see some of the videos of his biography. He was writing songs as a teenager. He wrote songs for Elvis. I think he had one of his major hits when he was still a teenager, just writing songs. In his earlier years, in '64 and in '68, his family was a Southern gospel. The LeFevres were like a Southern gospel band, so he was raised with music. In '64, he had a solo album out. In '68, had another one, and again, these were gospel, Southern gospel. You know, he was born in Mississippi, and so Southern gospel flair of that nature for the '60s. But as he got a little older, in 1970, he decided to scrap a lot of that, and he went rock and roll with his first album, Mylon. Technically, it's a band name because they're Southern rock. They are still labeled as gospel related. The lyrics are have some spiritual references, but you would think of it kind of in the same vein as like the Doobie Brothers. Jesus is just all right. Back in the '70s, bands sang songs about Jesus and stuff. But if you watch the biographies, his lifestyle was filled with sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Anyway, so yes, 1970. The first Mylon album, going out on his own as a rock and roller. And then the second one, Holy Smoke, 1971. Again, same line, same vein. Just, Southern rock with, had some lyrics here and there that were somewhat gospel related, but still was in the regular mainstream rock and roll world. Third album followed up, Under the Influence. Same type of thing. Pretty much the same band lineup, a lot of the same members on these first three albums. So there you go. Then seems like he took a little, break, I guess. Band, maybe they broke up. I don't know. Don't know the whole history. But in '73, the next year, him and Alvin Lee got together and they released this album. And so this is 1973. Then it seems like I don't know what the story was, but he basically, was gone for a couple years. Then he resurfaced as Mylon LeFevre. Similar, Southern rock type feel. 1977, this came out. And so from here on out, it was Mylon LeFevre, not the band Mylon. Love Rustler. Again, more of the rock and roll flair. And then Rock and Roll Resurrection, 1979, Mylon LeFevre. So at this point, I don't know, I guess at this point he started to have a change in his life. He started going back to his gospel roots. And in 1982, he resurfaces as Mylon LeFevre and Broken Heart. And this is where he comes back into his Christian roots. And so this is back into it's not gospel. It would be early contemporary Christian music with a little bit of a rock flair. Still, he considers this a rock album. I recently saw a concert that was just posted after he passed away, where the band the 77s, it's one of my favorite bands, had actually backed him. He came to do a show in California, and his band, I forget the whole story, the band couldn't make it, something about bus broke down, something. And Mylon and his guitar player were out there alone, and so the guys from the 77s became the backing band. And so they tell the story of that. And so it would have been shortly after this album, I believe, is when that concert took place. And so, yeah. Anyway, it's, maybe it was the next album, but it was in the same time frame. It was like it seems like he told the story, and it was like within a year or so after he had rededicated his life and started doing, you know, flat out Christian contemporary music there. But he thought he was still rocking and rolling, is what the story goes. More, 1983. Again, same line. There you go. More, Mylon Broken Heart. Same year they released Mylon Broken Heart, the live album, Live Forever. Live Forever. Great stuff. This is about the era when this is really the era when I discovered him. 1985, Sheep and Wolf's Clothing. And in this one they did get a little bit more. It's still kind of poppy, but it's got more of a heart of a rockin' edge when they get to this one. So a commercial rock and roll. Then in 86, the band decided to kind of, I forget the whole story behind it, kind of shed the blatantly Christian stuff and kind of change the name and go with, they changed the name to Look Up. Same band, Mylon, LeFevre, and Broken Heart, but it's not. And this is kind of a way to break into, you know, radio-friendly mainstream music. So the songs here are very similar in style to the previous Mylon, LeFevre, and Broken Heart. Same band, but lyrically are not, they do not have the Christian flair to it. They're not anti-Christian, they're just, you know, regular songs about love and life and things like that. So I guess when that did not really pan out as desired in 86, they came back in 87 with Crack the Sky, Mylon, LeFevre, and Broken Heart. Flat out, just the same old stuff. Very electronic drums, the kind of stuff you would hear in the 80s, the new wavy type stuff, but definitely, you know, heavier on the guitars and stuff. You know, so it's a little bit more of a electronic pop rock type stuff. I love this stuff. Love this album from this time. And then we got 1988, Face the Music. And this is the end of my vinyl collection. They had another album out in like 89 and 90. Both of those are available on vinyl, but only in the UK. So very hard to find over here. Would love to have them, but they didn't seem like they ever got released in the US, at least from what I can tell. On Discogs, they are only overseas, and so they're very hard to find. After that, there wasn't anything else done from the band, and Mylon went on to do some more solo stuff later in life. In the past 15 years or so, did an album or two of him again back into more of a gospel flair by himself, and then he passed away in September of this year. That's it, though. That's my Mylon collection. Thanks a lot for watching. Rock on and rock hard.